All right. So here we go with the Packers rebuild. This is being filmed on Monday. So this is about a couple days after they blew that 21-3 lead against the Chicago Packers. They had the game in hands. I feel like Matt LaFleur, when he is playing aggressive, like calling the game aggressively, he's one of the best play callers in the league. But when they start to get conservative, that's where he gets a little bit too much in his head, and I feel like some coaches do that. Now I think with this team, Quay Walker, they didn't accept
You can view the
his
player's overall
they
interest in your
never
team.
accepted his team option, like his fifth year option. So I'm just gonna make this like super super cheap. He's probably not gonna do it. But I want to tag him if the price is right. Yeah, he's only 12.6 to tag. I do want to tag him and trade him because I think we can get good value for him, and it's only $12 million. I think in real life, like he definitely played his way into a contract in real life. I just think the Packers aren't going to re-sign him, but I think a tag and trade would be good for us. Rasheed Walker, I want to re-sign him. Now he has star dev. He's only 26 years old. Um, Now I want to make this player friendly as well. So this is 14.1. I don't even know if he would do that. So we're gonna offer him about 15 million. So this would be a 3-year, $45 million deal, and he's gonna stay. So we're okay with the overpay. We really need to keep him. Romeo Dubs, I think we're gonna let walk. He's been pretty solid for them. He was a late round pick out of Nevada. But we have at wide receiver, we have, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, who played well in that playoff game, and Dontavian Wick. So we're just going to let Dubs walk. Luke Van Ness, even though he has a star dev, just didn't work out for us. Emmanuel Wilson, I do want to keep only because he played really well in while Josh Jacobs was out. And I think, maybe a 2-year, you know, we'll go 4.5, so 9 million for 2 years. That's probably a little bit of an overpay, but I do like him a lot. I think he's a good backup, good change of pace back, and he's been solid for them. Actually going to trade Quay Walker to the New Orleans Saints for Jonas Sanker, a 6th-round pick, and 2 7th-round picks in 2028. So I think I am going to do this trade for DJ Turner. He was so good for the Bengals, and the Bengals already have some good corner depth as well. So we're going to take this trade with the Bengals. We're going to get DJ Turner. We're going to shore up our defense in our secondary, and we're going to address pass rusher in the draft. So I like that trade for us a lot, actually. So if we look at strong safety, we have McKinney, and at free safety, Evan Williams is going to be a good depth piece. But I think what we're going to really end up doing is have Sanker as our starting free safety. And we do have Bullard as well, who I like, so we are pretty deep. But Bullard is probably going to be a guy that we move only because I don't really see too much need for him when we have McKinney, Bullard, Sanker, and we have Williams as well. Or maybe we move Williams. All right, so we're going to do this trade with the Giants. Since we have good depth at safety now with McKinney and Sanker, we're going to trade Bullard, who's 23 years old, star dev. I think he's going to be a really good player, and a 4th-round pick. And we're going to go to the Giants. They do have history with that McKinney trade as well. We're going to get Drew Phillips, a 6th-round pick, and a 7th-round pick. Drew Phillips has that superstar dev. He's only 24. Our corners now, we would have Turner, and now we would have Phillips as well. So I like that trade a lot for us. Our corners are looking really solid. We take a quick look real quick at the cornerback position. And, our secondary is pretty secure with McKinney. We have Sanker as well with Williams. And then our corners, now we are going to have Turner. We're going to have Hobbs. That's a little older. And now we're going to have Phillips as well. So I think we have 3 really good corners. Nixon was pretty solid as well, just a little older. So I do like that. and we're going to go to the second round pick, and we're going to try to get either, interior defensive line or a pass rusher. We don't really have many offensive needs as well. The line's pretty good. Tight end will be better with Kraft. I like our wide receivers. So edge rushers, we do have Howell available, Overton, R. Mason Thomas, Derek Moore. We could get Harold Perkins as well, which I think could be really good. Or we can go Vincent Anthony Jr., who was a high on a lot of people's draft boards before. Let's take a look at Overton. He's a good run stopper. He tested pretty well. So I think we'll go LT Overton here, get that other pass rusher, secure that side of it. 16 true value, drafted him at 54. Okay, so we weren't too far off there. All right, so let's take a look at our depth chart. We're going to have Jordan Love and Davis Mills will be our backup. Our running backs, we do have Marshawn Lloyd still. I don't know. He's been kind of hurt like all year. I want Emmanuel Wilson as our backup, and I kind of want Baxter getting some run as well. Fullback, we'll have Donaldson, CJ Donaldson from Ohio State. Our wide receivers, we're going to rock Watson, we're going to rock Reed, and we're going to have Golden. Golden's going to be our slot guy this year. Tucker Kraft isn't ready to come back, but he'll be coming back for us. Rasheed Walker is back. Banks is good at left guard. Jenkins at center. Right guard, we got Morgan out of Arizona. Hope he develops better. And our right tackle, Zach Tom. At edge, we are going to have Van Ness coming back. So we'll have him. We're actually going to start Overton. He was our second round pick. I want him getting some burn for us as well. And we do have Van Ness on the right side until Parsons comes back. As for D tackles, we only have Wyatt. So I do want Banks to get a lot of playing time to see hopefully he can develop into something. McDuffie's going to take over for Quay Walker. So I think he can be really solid for us. And our corners, look at our corners. DJ Turner, we got that trade for Quay Walker. And then we got Drew Phillips for Bullard out of Georgia. So I like our corners a lot. We have really good depth here. Our secondary is a lot better. Even though our pass rush isn't good, I think as a defense, you either have to have a really solid pass rush to make up for the secondary or vice versa, a good secondary to make up for the pass rush. I think you always want the better pass rush, but I like our safeties as well. And I think with kicker, I think this is the only other move I'm going to make because I don't trust McManus at all. Chase McLaughlin wouldn't be a bad kicker for us. Seeing Jason Sanders, Carlson. Yeah, so I think we just are going to sign Chase McLaughlin. And we're going to get rid of McManus. He was terrible. I think his career is over. And I think, yeah. And we saved 3.7 in cap by cutting him. So that's what we're looking like right now. We are going to sim to the midseason and see how we are looking. All right. So we are 3-3 at the midseason point right now. Let's take a look around the league to see how we're doing. Jordan Love looks like he's not having a great year. Only 10 touchdowns, 4 picks. Not terrible. Rushing attack, Jacobs has been pretty good. Wilson's been a good backup as well. Receiving, Jaden Reed doing okay. Kind of similar production to what you're seeing out of, Packers wide receivers. Kraft just started coming back. Defensively, we do get Parsons back. He already has 5.5 sacks. So I think this team will get better as the season goes on. Tackle-wise, Cooper's having a good year. McDuffie's doing really good filling in for Walker. Hobbs has 2 picks for us. Sanker has a pick. Our secondary is looking solid. Our offense isn't doing great, but we do have Kraft coming back from injury. Let's see real quick at the trade. See if anyone's on the block that would interest us potentially. No wide receivers. I don't think another tight end. Maybe Gazeki could be entertaining. We could use another D tackle. Jaron Reed, if we take a look at him, his contract, he's making a good amount of money and but maybe he can help us for a playoff push. We can see the interest, what we can get for him. So let's talk to Seattle real quick. See what they really want for him. We do have some cap room. Yeah, and that would make sense if they wanted to move him because they are stacked at D tackle. So let's see. Jaron Reed, we can probably get. It's still pretty expensive, but we could move him for Marshawn Lloyd because he's kind of the odd man out. So we'll get Jaron Reed for Marshawn Lloyd straight up. Makes sense with Charbonnet coming on in expiration. So we'll have Jaron Reed getting some play time now. He was playing behind that stacked Seattle D line. So I like putting him in at D tackle for us as well. He'll go right up to the number 2 behind Wyatt. And I think that's a good move for us. So let's see how we do getting to the playoffs and see if we can make a run. All right, so it looks like our Green Bay Packers have made the wild card yet again as a 7 seed, playing our NFC North rival, the Detroit Lions. Taking a look around the league, we got the Eagles at the 1 seed, Lions at the 2. We got 49ers-Cowboys classic rivalry here. The 49ers win the West, and Seattle doesn't even make the playoffs or the Rams. That's interesting. The Falcons turn things around. And on the AFC side, the Bills at the 1 seed, Ravens, post-John Harbaugh life, looking good for them. The Raiders win the West. Wow, that is crazy. Let's take a look around the league. Let's see how our guys did. Jordan Love, 29-10. Looks like he got hurt a little bit. Not a bad year from him. Josh Jacobs with another 1,000-yard year. Good, not terrible season for Wilson. And we saw, Baxter get a little bit of run, not much. We had 2 1,000-yard receivers, Jaden Reed, and a big year for Matthew Golden. Big second year for him. Watson, didn't do much, but also not bad. 566 yards, 6 touchdowns. Kraft started to get his feet under him. And let's take a look at the defense. Cooper with 136 tackles. McDuffie with 122. Great production out of the linebacker spot. Hobbs had 110 with 2 picks. Love to see that. Sanker, good first year for us. Parsons, 17 tackles for a loss. 20.5 sacks. He's back after the ACL. McKinney had a good year, no picks, but 84 tackles. 3 picks for Drew Phillips and 6 picks for DJ Turner. That turned out to be a huge trade for us. We love to see that. I do want to see around the league because there was some shocking 26.5 sacks for Max Crosby. That is insane. That is the NFL record. No wonder why they won the West. He was a beast. Harold Perkins was awesome for them. McFadden was good for them. That is insane. 26.5 sacks. Wow. And they had Dante Moore, who played pretty well for them. Genty had a great year. It's crazy to kind of see how good they did. They didn't even have too much at wide receiver. They had Hopkins. I do want to see what the yearly awards are looking like. So MVP Mahomes, that makes sense. Coach of the Year, Pete Carroll, in real life, of course, gets fired. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Antonio Williams. He's always on the Jets and always the Offensive Player of the Year. Max Crosby, Defense Player of the Year, obviously. In the NFC, we got our own Micah Parsons as Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year, you got Puka Nacua. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Fernando Mendoza from the Giants. So I guess they did not believe in Jackson Dart too much. And Danny Dennis Sutton for the Cowboys. So let's see. Our offense wasn't great. Our defense was pretty solid. 10-7, so we only missed our division by 1 game. Let's see if we can get past the Detroit Lions and get a good playoff run going. So we lose to the Lions pretty handily, 35-14, disappointing end to the year. Jordan Love didn't play terrible. They just ran all over us. And we didn't even have Josh Jacobs, but that's not an excuse. They beat us pretty bad. Defensively, we didn't really get much going. And yeah, I think the better team just beat us here. So that's a tough way to end the season. We got to improve. We got to get better. Maybe we try to go star wide receiver. I really liked our defense. We just haven't had that second pass rusher with Parsons. And that's been tough. So I think, I don't even know if Matt LaFleur is going to be with the Packers that much longer, but in here we'll keep him for the sake of the video, and we'll go to the offseason and see what changes we can do to improve this team. So if we take a look at the season recap, we got the Buffalo Bills winning the Super Bowl, Josh Allen Super Bowl MVP. They manhandle the Eagles. If we take a look at how the rest of the playoffs played out after we lost, we had the Eagles beating the Cowboys and the Falcons beating the Lions. Wow. So it was the Eagles, Falcons, and then Bills, Chiefs again. The Chiefs went on a run in the AFC Championship. But the Bills handed the Eagles. They beat them pretty bad, and Josh Allen went absolutely nuclear. Joshua Palmer, security, just Josh Allen, man. Can't say enough about the guy. He's such a great player, Hall of Famer. Everything you want in a franchise quarterback. We are going to go to our offseason negotiations and see, who we're going to bring back. So we have 111 in cap. DJ Turner is definitely going to get a big contract for us. I want to re-sign him for 4 years. He's interested, so I don't think we have to overpay too much. But we will do $20 million a year, so it'll be a 4-year, $80 million deal. We'll keep DJ Turner. 6 picks for us. That was a huge trade. Tucker Kraft coming off the ACL. We got to want to keep him long-term. He's a great player. We are going to offer him, 17 mil, so it'll be a 3-year, $51 million deal. He's going to stay with us. Jaden Reed, too. I think Christian Watson is going to be the guy that we let walk, but Jaden Reed I do want to keep. He's asking for $14 million a year, which isn't bad. He's interested in coming back, too. So let's just give him a little more, 14.3. So keep Jaden Reed. We're going to let Christian Watson walk. Isaiah McDuffie had a huge year for us. He has that superstar dev. We can't let him go anywhere, and he doesn't want anything. I'm going to offer him a 4-year deal, $6 million a year. Keep McDuffie around for the long term. Joshua Morgan, we're going to accept his option. Luke Van Ness, we're going to let walk. Jenkins, I would like to keep for 1 more year. We'll give him 14. Maybe we'll give him 14.5 to stay with us. And we're going to keep him. So we're keeping a lot of guys not wanting to do too much. Deontay Hyatt had a good year as well as our starting D tackle. We're going to keep Wyatt as well. So we're just re-signing a lot of guys. I don't want to go. We're going to let Valentine walk. Onwazurki, we're going to let walk. Dontavian Wicks, we don't really need to keep another wide receiver, and we're pretty solid. He's our 4th corner, so maybe we can keep Nixon just in case of injury. So we'll keep him for a depth piece. Not really sure there's anyone else I want to keep. Besides just maybe our special teams guys. Okay, so he's going to test. How wild would it be to franchise tag a kicker? That's a little too much, obviously. But we'll keep our punter. All right, so we really just need kicker, and then maybe, hopefully, we can get an edge rush guy. So let's take a look at stage 1 and see who we can re-sign. All right, so to review our free agency, we did sign Van Ginkel on a 1-year, $20 million deal, and we did sign Kaimi Fairbairn for a 2-year deal up to $7 million. So we are going to go to the draft and try to rebuild. I think we really just need A wide receiver is something we're going to look at, maybe another D tackle. But besides that, I think we're pretty solid. Maybe a depth lineman as well. So we are going to take a look. 2027 class is imported. So, Jeremiah Smith, obviously going to go number 1 overall. But we'll see what we can do. Obviously, we don't have a first-round pick because of that Micah Parsons trade. So we are going to go right ahead to the second round. And see what we can get in the second round. Another edge rusher with Van Ginkel. We only have him for 1 year, so that could be a play for us. So we are picking at 53 overall. Okay, so at 53 overall, I'm really looking at wide receiver, a 3 wide receiver, a bigger guy, or a D tackle, or potentially an edge rusher. So we have Quincy Rhodes Jr. here. Didn't test bad, but also didn't test too good for my liking. We don't really need a running back. A linebacker, we're set there. We could go Wesco Jr. from Clemson, Ryan Wingo from Texas. I love this guy, but the last thing we need is a safety. So let's take a look. I like the edge rushers that are right here. Traore, Jordan Ross from Tennessee. He tested pretty well. I think we're going to go Jordan Ross here. Try to get another edge rusher to go with Van Ginkel and Parsons. 86 in true value at 53, but they rated it a B+, so we're fine with that. So as we take a look at the trade block, we really need another tall wide receiver. The Texans are listening to offers on Jaden Higgins. He's 6'4", 214. He would be great to go alongside Reed and Golden for us. So we're going to reach out to the Texans, see what they want for Higgins. I feel like it's probably going to be a little too rich. They have George Pickens and Nico and Delia, so it would make sense why they would want to move Higgins. Let's see what we can get for him. A 3rd-round pick and a 6th. I don't think that's a terrible trade at all. So we're going to do this for Higgins. So if we take a quick look at our offense, we got Jordan Love and Davis Mills. We got our running backs, Jacobs, Baxter, and Wilson. And at wide receiver, Jaden Reed is dealing with an injury, but we are going to slide in Jaden Higgins at our number 2 as well. We still got Tucker Kraft, left tackle Walker, left guard Banks, center we got Jenkins. We have Morgan that's been developing kind of slower than we want, but that's okay. We got Tom at left edge. We still got Overton. We're going to have Van Ginkel start here, but Overton will still be getting some pass rush times. We do have Parsons on the right side. We'll put Overton in here as well. Our D tackles, we got Wyatt and Reed. Mike, we got Cooper. We re-signed McDuffie as well. Loving our corners with Turner, Hobbs, Phillips, and Nixon. We still have Sanker and Williams. I like starting Sanker at the free safety and then McKinney on the strong side. Our kicker, we have Kyrie Fairbairn now. And punter, we got Jake Bailey. So that's what we're looking like. Let's advance to the mid-season and see how we are going to do. Okay, so if we look at the halfway point, we are actually 5-1. So way better than we started last year. Jordan Love, pretty solid season so far. 12 touchdowns, 3 picks. Good year from Josh Jacobs running the ball, 4 yards per carry. Golden's been great for us. Jaden Higgins turned out to be a really good trade. 26 catches, 332 yards with 5 touchdowns. We did get Jaden Reed back from injury. Tucker Kraft as well. Got to get him involved more. Defensively, Cooper is leading the way in tackles. Having a really good year from Devontae Wyatt. 3 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss. Parsons only has 3 sacks. Not getting a ton of pass rush. But I like the team we have. Our offense isn't doing great, but it seems like our defense has been kind of holding it down. And they're kind of like middle of the pack too. So, but we're 5-1, so I don't think we really have to change too much. Let's see how the end of the regular season plays out, and hopefully we win the division and go on a playoff run. All right, so if we take a look at the playoff bracket, your Green Bay Packers are the number 1 seed. The NFC goes through Lambeau Field. We got the Eagles at the 2 and the Vikings at the 7. A rematch of last year's playoff matchup between the 49ers and Cowboys. We got the Bucks and Bears. So we got 3 teams from the NFC North. On the West, the Bills, number 1 seed again. Steelers at the number 2. Broncos at the 3. Texans at the 4. Let's take a look at how our season ended. So our offense, at 6 weeks in, we were the 30th offense in the league. We finished at number 4, and our defense finished in the top, we were a top 15 defense as well. So our offense really turned it around. Jordan love to see that. Literally, 4,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 8 picks. We'll take that any day of the week. Josh Jacobs, this guy, Father Time is not coming for Josh Jacobs, let me tell you. Only 5 touchdowns, but he's had 294 carries and 1,300 yards. Baxter looked like he filled the role pretty good as his backup. Receiving-wise, Jaden Reed, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. Matthew Golden, 938, 4 touchdowns. And Jaden Higgins, what a big offseason trade that was. Only for a 3rd and a 6th-round pick. To have 11 touchdowns is huge and 726 yards. Looks like we got Tucker Kraft a lot more involved in the second half. Defensively, Cooper with 142 tackles, Phillips with 103. We had Sinker with 97 tackles and a pick. Nate Hobbs with 4 picks for us as well. Devontae Wyatt had a big year for us. For a D tackle, 9 tackles for a loss, 8 sacks. We'll take that. Micah Parsons, 15.5 sacks. 9 sacks from Banks. Our D tackle, Caleb Banks, year 2. 9 sacks. That's big. Overton had 7.5. So we're seeing some of these younger guys play pretty well for us. Van Ginkel didn't really work out too much. Hopefully he has a big playoff. And, Turner with 3 picks again. So really good year. Finished number 1 in the NFC, and we went 14-3. We finished 3 wins better than, anyone else. So we were clearly the best team in the league. Let's see if we can win these guys a Super Bowl. We're going to advance to the divisional championship and, advance from that and see if we can go all the way. So we are going to be facing the Chicago Bears in the divisional round. This will be a rematch of the other night when the Bears came back from 21-3. We have the Eagles and 49ers at the bottom. We have the Bills and the Patriots. The Patriots get a big upset over the Steelers. The Broncos beat the Ravens, and the Texans beat the Chargers. So let's see if we can get to the NFC Championship game. We're clearly the best team in the NFC. You see the stats on the right side. Second in offense of points per game at 25.8. 7th in the league at pass yards, 240 a game. Rush yards only 96. But, this is a solid team. So let's see if we can get to the conference championship. All right. And we absolutely smoke the Chicago Bears 38-3. This was an absolute beatdown. Caleb Williams got sacked 4 times, only threw for 97 yards. We just kind of dominated. Baxter, 2 touchdowns. Played well for us. Receiving, Jaden Reed with 100 yards. Higgins with another touchdown. Defensively, let's see who are getting all these sacks for us. Brinson with 1.5. Parsons with 1. Cooper with half. So, an absolute beatdown of a game. We got the 49ers coming in. Great rivalry. And then we got the Bills and Broncos, who in real life are going to play this Saturday. So let's see if we can get to the Super Bowl. And your Green Bay Packers are going to the Super Bowl. We got a 1-1 matchup. We are going to be facing the Buffalo Bills, and we beat the 49ers pretty handily. Jordan Love, good game again. And it looks like our defense is just causing teams problems. Not so great against the run this game, but Golden at 130 yards. Jaden Reed with Higgins scores again. This guy's just a touchdown machine. But our defense has just been so solid for us. Only gave up 3 against the Bears, only 14 against the 49ers. And now we are going to play the Bills for the right to win a Super Bowl. Drake May is your MVP. Your coach of the year is our own Matt LaFleur. What a big bounce back for him. Our offensive player of the year in the NFC is Puka Nacua. Our defensive player of the year is Jalen Walker. Offensive rookie of the year, you got Jeremiah Smith from the Commanders. And defensive rookie of the year, you got Dylan Stewart. So let's see if we can win the Packers a Super Bowl. And unfortunately, the Bills go back-to-back, win another Super Bowl. We fall short. We had a great year. We came up too short, and it looks like it wasn't even that close of a game. 22-7, they beat us pretty handily. So we got to see if we can stop the Bills. Jordan Love just did not play well. It looks like no one really played well for us. So that's tough, considering we were the best team in the league by far, and we just get absolutely smoked in the playoffs. So, unfortunately, we fell short, and the Bills were just the better team. We finished so well, but, we fell short. So, that's going to be the video for the Packers. I think the next video we are going to be dropping is we are going to be rebuilding the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just realized that all the teams that we rebuilt were all NFC. So, we're going to do our first AFC with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But appreciate all you guys tuning in, and until the next video.